FlameyPomPom, a Crossout video by Dangerously Incompetent. Now I've thrown this build, FlameyPomPom, together for this week's seasonal challenges. I needed an autocannon, so I plumped for the whirl because I still want to give it a good try out. And then I thought, oh, let's put some armoured tracks on front. I need an autocannon in raids, and you take a lot of damage coming from the front in raids. So yeah, let's put armoured tracks on the front because they soak up a huge amount of damage. I mean, they've got high durability and they've got a bunch of resistances. Absolutely great. So 4 of them across the front, and then the whirls sitting behind and slightly above, and they can shoot over the top of the tracks. Lovely, great. And then I ran out of armoured tracks, so I put Bigfoot wheels on the rear end, and I was surprised by the manoeuvrability that I got out of the resulting build. Oh, can't fit through the gap to chase them. Oh, hang about, that's just a paltry wooden fence. I should have crashed straight through that. Why isn't it destructible? We got destructible fences now, haven't we? Oh. Yeah, some of these old maps could do with going over and replacing a bit of the scenery with the new destructible stuff. Yeah, that would be helpful. Anyway, moving on. And it's big and lumbering, it's slow to accelerate because it's got a lot of mass, and it's got armoured tracks with a limited speed of 75 kilometers an hour, but it's got a really, really tight turning circle. Ridiculously tight. I mean, look at this. Look at this. There are 4 armoured tracks on the front in a line, and I'm spinning around almost on the spot. It's crazy. In fact, after it's lumbered up to its top speed of 75 kilometers an hour, once it started turning, it doesn't really want to stop, which is a bit of a problem. And that's probably because most of the mass is actually in the rear half of the vehicle. I mean, I've got the tracks, and then the gap, and not much, and then the wheels, and then the cabin, and then the Apollo generator sitting in the back, and then that's all armoured up with lots of structure. To keep the whirls cooled down, I put in shivers, and I chose shivers because I reckon the build isn't going to get you going very fast, and shivers get their perk at 0 to 30 kilometers an hour, whereas seals get their maximum perk at 80, so 30 kilometers before that, 50 to 80 probably. It doesn't actually state that, but really I should have put in seals so that I could fire constantly for much longer. Even though I wouldn't get to use a seal perk so much, they'd still be more effective. I'd get to fire the whirls constantly for longer, which is what I'm doing. I'm not tap firing or anything. And remember, the shiver is a cooler, which cools the weapon down after it's been heated, whereas the seal is a radiator, which reduces the amount of heat that is generated when the weapon fires, or when its weapons fire. So when you're constantly firing, you want seals because it takes longer for the weapon to overheat, whereas if you're firing for a bit and then you can take a break, and then firing for another bit and then take a break, almost tap firing but generating a lot of heat, then then your shivers would be better. Now, since the whirls are a short to medium range weapon, I figured I'd put the remedy on, because I haven't had a good bit of flame action in ages, and put the remedy in, and it's got a short range on this flamethrower, and so I bit of flame grilling to heat the enemy up for extra damage, and then the whirls start up, pom 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 pom, and yeah, that seems to work quite happily. But because it's got 2 armoured tracks in front of it, it's firing in a gap through the middle. The remedy can only shoot directly forwards. I'm completely wasting it's got a traverse. I'm completely wasting that. So I probably should have been better off using a Draco, which has even less of a traverse. It really only shoots forwards. And then I put a couple of expanded ammo boxes in there, so I never run out of flame. Yeah. Cabin. Put in the Nova cabin because I wanted to try out the shield. That's why it's got a gap, a channel right down the front, because otherwise the shield doesn't work. And that shield doesn't work it pops up nice and covers a nice wide arc. It doesn't cover the whole a sphere like the shield generators do. The Aegis shield the Aegis shield generator. But it's free, it doesn't cost an energy. but it hardly doesn't last that long at all. So really you've got to guess when someone's about to shoot you, and then you've got to flick it on. So that's FlameyPomPom. Builds okay. Well, it's okay for raid work, good enough for raid work, but I wouldn't recommend using it in missions. I mean, for a start, it hasn't got any missile defense at all. So those nasty old nests would make an utter mess of it. And it's not going to catch the nest users who are zipping around at 100 kilometers an hour. Anyway, if you want to try out its maneuverability, or even take it for a spin in the raids and complete those oh so important season missions, challenges, and get those Hermit STs, which I've just started building. Excellent. So review of them in the near future. Yes, I put it in the exhibition. It's DI FlameyPomPom. See the description below for a more accurate spelling. Well, that's all I've got to say about FlameyPomPom. But I've still got another 2 minutes of raid footage to fill up. I was torn. Should I speed the footage up to fit what I've got to say, or should I expand what I've got to say to fit the footage? I haven't really referenced the footage very much. It's mostly been talking about the build rather than what I'm actually doing in the raid. But I've decided, nope, I'm not going to speed it up. We're going to watch the raid in its entirety and come to the thrilling boss fight at the end. You know, for something that's limited to 75 kilometers an hour, I'm not doing badly. I'm outstripping all the other players. Or are they hanging back so that I will take the brunt of the boss man's damage? Ooh, the sneaky fiends. Anyway, where's this boss man? He should be somewhere around here. I've dropped off the cargo and he's appeared. Oh, he's on the mini-map. There he is. Ooh, popped up my shield just in time for those balls of plasma. But it's gone now. Oh, it's come back. That come back really quickly. Oh yeah, it comes back faster if it gets destroyed rather than times out. Wasted that use of the shield though. And let's get nice and close and heat him up a bit. Cooking. How do you like these flames, boss man? Oh, that's one other thing about the armoured tracks. They're actually quite good at lifting people up, provided you're not going up against the front end of a dedicated wedger. Lots of people will climb up the triangular shaped tracks. But that's it. There's the boss man dead. There's the victory on the raid. How do we do? Respectable. 1184. How did everyone else do? Oh, I came second. But respectable. Yeah, not bad at all. For a build you just chucked together. Haven't really refined much. Anyway. That's it for this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to encourage me to make even more videos. And I'll see you in raid or in the mission as we flee from those horrendous nest missiles. Aye!